or amazing. It's like, okay, that's the bridge that gets us there. It's coming early. We're doing it again in January, but it's because February has so few Mondays. Once again, me and Josiah, we are going to do the WWE Studio Slam. This time, it is John Cena at the helm of the film. It is not his first film. It's his second film with WWE Studios. That is 12 rounds. I nearly put, my first note was, when I saw the name Ashley Scott show up, I was like, man,
oh, yeah.
What comes to mind when I see her name is The Rock's Walking Tall. But I thought, that's not a great first note. But I still said it anyway first in the video, so whatever. It was just legitimately something I thought of. So, anyway.
Good stuff.
Had you watched this upon its initial release, or did you only watch it recently?
So not the initial release. I watched it probably a year or two after it came. It was fairly close to the original release date by comparison of now.
Yeah, because I about midway through I had this thought. Actually, I'll just find the note while I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
But I was.
Oh yeah, you broke it up by rounds. It's so much better. That's smart.
Well, I know where the note is because I missed one of the rounds taking these notes. So I missed the 9th round because I said to myself, at this point in the film, my mind begins to wonder, was this released in theaters? How much did this movie cost, and did it make money? So I looked it up at it. You know, these are the things I'm curious about, so I look it up.
It's a good question.
It cost $20 million to make. On its opening weekend in theaters, it made $5 million.
Wow.
However, it did not make back its money until DVD release, when it finally surpassed its budget and made 26 in total. So it didn't lose money, but it took them a while to get back to what they had invested and get a little plus.
I'm not gonna lie, the $20 million doesn't surprise me. That's about ballpark what I expected for the film because of just watching it. There's so many explosions.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So expensive.
The explosivity, the fact that it had so many explosions.
Yeah, because like you got to think, because every action movie you see, most of the cost of the action movie, depending on who the actors are,
is the boom boom.
Is the boom boom every single time. So like if you see like more than 5 explosions, you know the budget was probably significant,
blowing up, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when I watched this movie originally, and when it
it released in 2008.
Yeah, so I watched it probably in. It's actually probably 2009. So 2009 is when I watched it.
For sure.
And like I watched it and I was like, okay, this is a movie. I really like John Cena, especially like I think I've said it on the channel before. Raymond
Cena,
John Cena.
Yeah, you're my leading guys, absolutely. Yeah.
So
he's probably your Sting.
Yeah, that exactly.
He's
he can do no wrong in my eyes.
Exactly.
So I probably like the movie a lot more than I did now.
Sure.
Upon rewatching, because when I started watching this movie, my first initial reaction was, I do not remember what happened in this movie.
Oh, really?
I remember all the explosions.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the rounds. They were like, and I remember the elevator scene. Like some of those really stood out to me.
Absolutely.
But outside of like those small things, I'm like, I have no recollection of when happened.
It's funny. So I remember way more of this movie than you probably would have expected for it being so far removed from 2008.
Right.
But the thing that stood out both then and now is the folks that made this movie, to me,
mm-hmm.
they wanted to make movies they like.
Yeah.
Die Hard with a Vengeance, Speed, and there was one other one.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot of speed elements.
So there were just so many things within it. I was like, oh, I can tell what you like. Which, personally, I'm not saying
that's not bad.
It's not an insult because I also enjoy a lot of the things they enjoy.
Right.
I personally rate Die Hard with a Vengeance just one notch above Die Hard 1. Just like barely. And that's due to the addition of Samuel L. Jackson. I think that, don't get me wrong, John McClane is great, but John McClane Plus is even better.
Yeah, I was about to say the improvements are staggering, right? That's a fair point. Fair point.
And so, it's not John McClane and or Samuel L. Jackson that remind me of Die Hard with a Vengeance, but it's Miles Jackson, the villainous character, is so close to Simon from Die Hard with a Vengeance. And what I mean by that is the manipulative, the intellectual, the pretentious with... and by that I mean very much pretending to be out for revenge when in reality he's out for the profit. Because that's what Simon was all about in Die Hard with a Vengeance. And it's definitely, in the end, what is revealed to be the case with Miles as well.
Almighty dollar.
Exactly. And, but I gotta say that I'm skipping a lot of notes because we're just going freestyle.
We're just talking.
But, I gotta say that they do a good job of setting up Miles' revenge plot to be believable.
Yeah.
Because, I have... Oh, that's a perfect coincidence. I have 12 notes before I say, here it is, that's the hook.
That's great.
And they're minor notes, you know, telling you that John Cena plays Danny, Ashley Scott plays Molly.
Right.
I complain a lot that I don't know John Cena's character Danny's partner's name.
Yeah, but
it's not until he's killed that I learn his name. And
right.
every page of my notes, I complain that he shows up, talks, and I don't know his dang name. I know his dog's name before I know his partner's name.
Yeah, I remember the dog too. But no, yeah, because I forgot about that, and I'm really glad.
Oh no, you're good.
Because when he died, I was like, wait, what? I felt like I missed 2 or 3 scenes when he died.
So it's amazing, like, because I didn't know his name in the entire year prior setup, I was like, I bet he's gonna die here, because why give us a character that John is invested in and not tell us his dang name? I was like, oh, he's probably gonna die here. And then when he lived, and we go 1 year later...
Well, he was shot in the ass.
Right. So he died from embarrassment.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's probably the most embarrassing place to get shot.
But, well, I can think of one place more that...
Well, I feel like that's less embarrassing and more just like, I feel a lot more sympathy for you.
For sure. But yeah, so like I said, ironically, my 12th note, or I took 12 notes until I finally said, here's the hook. Which... because the movie was fine until the moment where Miles Jackson gets shot, pop, and I was like, "Oh, I'm hooked now. Like, tell me more. Yeah. This is where I'm.
Tell me a story.
Yeah, this is where I'm in." And so, because the FBI had a couple of crooked folks trying to help them catch the big bad. Unsuccessfully, yeah, because they switch sides. But yeah,
much like every action movie that's ever existed, the FBI's incompetence is staggering.
Speaking of FBI incompetence, I have a pretty fun note about the concept of folks being on the same team, but also in competition. So I said, Danny and his partner are entertained by the fact that the FBI have fumbled this, even though they're technically on the same team, the FBI and the local cops.
Right.
I said, it reminded me a lot of my time in the Army, where even though we all had the same goal, we would harass each other. I can distinctly remember a lot of the Army guys calling the Air Force the chair force, because they didn't never get off their behinds and do any work. They were just chilling,
now that I'm thinking about it. So I used to have a roommate in college that's in the Air Force,
yes.
And he used to crack jokes about the Army all the time.
Absolutely. So a friend that we know who works in IT, he was a Marine.
Yeah.
And so anytime we're talking about our time overseas, he would say, "Yeah, I was just over there eating crayons." So even they themselves make fun of each other. And so I just think that that's the way I understood the FBI to local cop mentality. Okay. is the friendly rivalry, if you will. The we're on the same team, but I can give you a hard time type of thing.
Okay. That's a good way to look at it, because I obviously don't have that perspective. I wasn't in any of the services, so
for sure.
So that's a good way to look at it. I like that.
Yeah, it's and it just it goes a long way. Not just that, the entire film itself goes a long way into making John Cena's character Danny a relatable everyman, up until the minute he becomes Captain America. So I took a couple of notes a couple of times, and I was like, clearly John Cena is auditioning to be Captain America. So there's
man. So the way I saw it, he was being Peacemaker before Peacemaker was a thing.
So oh yeah, because it was so terrible here that. But the fact is, when, as Josiah already mentioned, when Danny's partner gets shot in the behind, that he looks at him and he says, "Don't be a cowboy." And I said here because we're big time wrestling fans. I said, of course, Super Cena is gonna do some cowboy shit.
2-for-1 special. There.
Exactly, and so he begins. Danny, John Cena's character, he begins running through houses and neighborhoods, not caring anything about property damage. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, he means literally running through houses. Like that wasn't like a euphemism. Like, oh, he's cutting through the door. No, he's actually just running through houses like he's the Incredible Hulk.
When Danny, the character, cut through a house, I said, anytime a cop does this, it instantly takes me out of anything, whether it's a TV show or a movie. Mm-hmm. Because much like ice cream trucks and severance packages, I am not going to believe this is real until it happens in my real life.
What?
So,
what a comparison.
Well, it's true. So when I grew up, there were no ice cream trucks because there weren't enough humans for the ice cream truck to drive around and try and sell to. What are they going to do? Go to the chicken and the pig and the cow and be like, "Yo, buy some ice cream"? Nah, they just don't even bother coming out there to Farm City, or come out of the city to the farm land.
I got you.
And so I didn't know that an ice cream truck was something that wasn't just in media until I was an adult. And the same with the concept of a severance package. I was like, that's got to be made up for media, right? I mean, who would pay you not to come to work? And then it happened to me in TV. They were like, so it's funny. In the spring, they said, "Oh, we're restructuring," and I was like, "Oh, so you guys are making cuts?" Yeah. Well, I didn't think it was going to be me specifically, but I knew somebody was going to hit the chopping block.
Right.
And so this was probably March, April timeline, right, when they were restructuring. And then in September, the day I came back from my vacation, the boss met me at the door and said, "Hey, can you meet me in the office?" I was like, "Oh, today's the day. Look at that."
I know this is
exactly. Like I called this shot like way back, and so
it took a while, but you finally drained the 3.
And so that's good stuff.
Thank you.
And so we're in there, and he's like, "Hey, let's wait for this other guy." And I was like, I've never understood that concept, right? What am I going to do? Lose my crap that you're letting me go? Like, I don't like coming here anyway. Like, and so wait for the other guy, and the other guy sits down, and the boss man's like, "If you could just sign this is your severance package." So I'm like, my what? And he says, "Yeah, we're going to pay you until the end of the year." And I was like, "Oh, good Lord, that's wonderful." And I said, "So does that mean I can't get unemployment?" He's like, "No, you can." I was like, "Come on now." And so, yeah, I did not believe ice cream trucks or severance packages were real until I experienced them in my real life.
That is wonderful.
And I still will not believe that a cop's just going to run through your house to try and stop a car that's driving down the street because, "Oh, I know the way. This is the better way to get to the car." Come on now. Yeah, come on, that's dumb.
To be fair, yeah, that is ridiculous.
And it's not just this movie. Lots of things.
No, pretty much any cop-based show has done that.
Oh, my goodness.
At least once.
Yes, exactly.
Show or franchise.
So, but also in defense of this chase, it does something that I begged for in The Marine that I never got.
What?
It makes John Cena bleed. He's not the Terminator. He's not a man who can stand on a truck and be driven through a building and come out without a scratch. No, he's a human being. So he, like a weird, dumb person, he dives through a window to dodge a bullet as though the bullet can't go through the window. But whatever, at least he comes out bleeding. So instantly early in the film, I'm like, all right, this is already a step above. Because that was my primary complaint about The Marine, is like, I felt like...
He was the immortal John Cena.
Yeah, whether it was Vince's decision, or the studios, or John himself, I don't know who made the call, but I was like, when this guy can't come out without a scratch, we got problems.
Yeah.
And so, that was already a step up. Thank you very much. Yeah, so... but I give this much praise, and then here's another criticism.
There it is.
Super Cena grabs a boat and throws it in front of a car.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched that. I'm like, wait. And again, it was another one of those scenes. I'm like, did I miss 2 scenes in between? Did they give him the super soldier serum and I just missed it?
I know, dude. Multiple times I was like, what?
Yeah, because first of all, when he pushed that boat, that boat was moving. Like I thought he threw the boat almost just at the speed it was going. Second of all, and listen, I'm not a cop. I didn't go through any training. I don't know what they tell them, but I'm pretty sure, like, it's explicit. Please keep the property damage at a minimum. Don't cause us 5-car pileup.
So,
because
there's a cop show that I like to watch called The Rookie, right?
Okay.
And they, have you ever seen it?
Never once.
Okay, so do you like Nathan Fillion?
Big fan, yeah.
He's the rookie.
Oh.
So what happens is in the pilot of the
ABC, Fox,
ABC. So in the pilot of the show, he is an older gentleman, obviously because Nathan Fillion's older.
Yeah.
His wife had just left him,
oh.
and he's down on his luck, and he's at the bank, and he's trying to do some bank business, and there's a bank robbery, and the robbers are all like, blah blah blah, we're robbers, right? And so
as you do.
And he's down, but he's like, no, I'm not gonna let this be. So he stands up and he's like, I'm having a crap time, and he stands up to him and he takes him down. And the cops who show up are like, that could have gone way differently. Do you have any training? He's like, no, I'm a construction guy. They're like, well,
great.
A, that's brave, but B, that's kind of stupid.
Not kind of, that's stupid.
Yeah, exactly. They probably didn't say kind of. It's been a while. This is in like season 5 or 6 now, so
okay.
it's been a while since I watched this. But anyway, the point is, because he felt alive in that moment of standing up to evildoers to do the right thing, he and his whole life's falling apart on the East Coast. He moves out to the West Coast and becomes the oldest rookie to ever enlist in the LAPD.
Cool.
But the point of the story is, because he's an not elderly, he's not like retirement age, but he's the oldest rookie, he goes by the book, and the book is like, don't be trying to destroy a bunch of stuff. We're going to take this out of your pay. Like, they're very thorough, right? Yeah. And so that's the upside of the show, is that they do things that seem quite plausible. Unlike, this or
throwing a boat in front of a speeding vehicle, having it flip over 2 to 3 times at least.
Oh, and then later in the movie, like, let me finish this and then I'll complain about some other stuff.
Oh, yeah, trust me. Yeah, no, before we get too far ahead, yeah.
So, when the car stops, Miles' girlfriend, Erica, and Miles himself, the big bad, they get out of the car. John's like, oh, you're under arrest. And Miles tells Erica to get to safety, run away. And once again, we get, boom, out of nowhere, Erica gets hit by a truck. And
it wasn't even a truck, it was just a regular-ass car.
Oh, it was? I thought it was a truck.
Well, it was an SUV.
SUV, yeah.
So
but she gets hit, is the point. And much like the moment where Miles got shot, this was another moment within the film where I was like, you got me. I want to keep watching this, which is good because we're,
I'm about to say
20 minutes in. Yeah, 20-something minutes in. So I was like, you better make me want to keep watching because, if you don't, we got bigger problems.
A 2-hour movie and
not much
to look forward to.
But so right after Erica gets hit, Miles looks at Danny, sees that, because he's just a regular street cop now with the uniform and the name thing. So he sees his name, says, Officer Fisher, I'll remember you. Then we cut to 1 year later.
I will say, and this scene, right? So, like you said, I was hooked as soon as you got hit by the car. This is going to be interesting. And then, I don't know why, I just didn't like the way he was like, who are you? Tell me your name. And then it's just like awkward silence for 2 seconds because John just like... and then he's like, all right, so, like, if I scoot it back more... And he somehow read the tiny ass print of his badge.
Oh, that's an interesting thought. So I wasn't thinking about the reality of the situation. I was only thinking about the film itself. Yeah. And so with the film, they go close up to it saying D. Fisher on his shirt. But you're right. In reality, it's dark at night. He probably couldn't see it at all.
He just got into the car flipped 3 times. Which means I know he can't see that well. Like I was in a minor car accident where like I took out a fire hydrant in a truck and I came out and my vision was blurry.
Right.
So I know there was no way in hell he came out of that accident and, well, he was relatively banged up at least, which is good, but like there's no way his vision was solid.
Right.
enough.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. I didn't think about it, but that I like it. I like that you realized it.
It's a small criticism, but it was the only thing that bugged me.
No, I'm with it. So, like I said, I didn't think about it, but I'm glad that you did, and that's the reason why the teamwork, is the way exactly that.
But yeah, sorry, I didn't.
No, it's good. It's good. So we jumped a year ahead. Danny still feels guilty over Erica dying, even though it wasn't his fault. Right. It was more Miles' fault than
Danny's. Yeah, I say he told her to run. She ran straight
to it. Yeah, exactly. You did what I told you, girl. Good job. But yeah, my next big complaint is so Molly, Danny's girlfriend.
What?
She.
I thought she was his wife.
No, the reason I know she's not his wife is because the partner who later, and by later I mean 1 hour, 27 minutes, 55 seconds, I wrote that down, that we find out is named Hank.
That was his name.
So,
because I couldn't remember.
Yeah, exactly. So, Hank harasses Danny about the fact that Molly's so fine, you can't let her go because you're freakishly large, as though he's obese and not jacked as all hell.
Yeah, I do remember.
And so that's what told me that they weren't married.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, so Molly treats Danny as though he's not on her level when she has to call a plumber, and the plumber throws Danny under the bus about not doing housework. Blah, blah, blah.
He did that immediately. I'm like, dude, you did it with the wife still like in earshot. Yeah, come on, man.
You're a dirty, dirty guy.
Come on, guy code. You got it.
No. Have you ever seen A Guy Thing? Have you ever seen A Guy Thing? It's a movie starring Jason Lee and two chicks, Selma Blair and what's the blonde's name? Anyway, it's a funny movie, right?
I believe that.
But the title is the best part. So Jason Lee thinks that he slept with his fiance's cousin. They didn't actually sleep together, but he was drunk and he wakes up, she's there.
And you have no idea.
And so anyway, she accidentally leaves her underwear behind. He throws it in the tank of the toilet. And so Selma Blair sees the underwear when the toilet won't flush, right?
Right.
And she's like, why are there dirty panties in the and so he's like, well, I went to buy you new panties at the store, and it's these pranksters at the college. They're putting dirty panties in the $5 bin of panties, right? She's like, you expect me to believe that? He's like, call him right now. It's true. So he calls. The guy behind at the store answers, and he's like, oh yeah, he's like, those damn whatever fraternity guys. Yeah. And so she hangs up the phone and she says, oh, I'm so sorry that I didn't believe you. And check this out. So the guy who answered the phone, he's checking out a customer. He's like, it's A Guy Thing. Yeah. That's where the name of the movie comes. Oh, it's so freaking good.
That is great.
But I agree. I thought the plumber was super dirty. I was like, come on, man.
Come on.
And so
like that was my literal first. I was like, dude, come on, man.
Well, and so here's the crazy thing. Molly leaves after basically treating Danny like he's no good for nothing.
Right.
And then plumber dude, Phil, he gets got real quick by Miles, and I didn't give a damn.
Yeah, I didn't. I was about to say, I don't know if I was supposed to feel bad or not, but I'm like, ugh. I mean,
yeah, so
he broke guy code.
He was legitimately the only dude who died in this that I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, you a dick.
Yeah. Like, I didn't feel bad. I didn't think twice about it. Like, I was more like, man, what an explosion. Like, I didn't even realize he was in the house until John Cena was like, woo!
And so first Cena's car blows up, then his house, but that's when Phil gets it, right?
But it's okay, the dog was safe.
The dog was safe. He's staying with neighbors. Or she, whatever. I'm not sure which.
I believe it was a boy.
We'll go with that. I don't remember. But it's fine. The dog's with the neighbors.
Yeah.
But we once again get John Cena practicing his super soldier serum run when he's running towards a ferry that he can't catch. So I don't know why he's doing it, but then he does another classic cop maneuver that I don't believe whatsoever when he goes up and says, "This car is now mine because I'm a cop."
Yeah, I hate that.
I was like, come on now, like please.
Like if a police officer ran up to me and said, "I'm commandeering your vehicle," no,
I'd be like, "This is real." I was like, come on now, and more importantly than that. more importantly, I'd be like, have you seen what I'm driving? I'd be like, come on, you want somebody else's thing.
Yeah, hold on. Go get that Ferrari over there. Go get that BMW. I'm sure one of the two will be a little bit faster.
Exactly. But yeah, so after he commandeers a vehicle,
right,
by not being able to run to the ferry, shocker of all shockers.
And my favorite part about whenever they commandeer these vehicles, they never show a badge. There's never any proof.
No, it's
they just run up and say,
it.
I'm a cop. Give me your vehicle.
Exactly. Like that would take more time than the movie had to, because nobody's gonna trust you.
Yeah,
I sure ain't.
I'm like, hell no.
But yeah, so then John drives by his burning car and house after taking this vehicle. I'm like, all right. I mean, I guess. And so next time he speaks to Miles like, oh, it's a game, and I took the first round. I'm gonna take the second round by taking Molly. I could go over all the rounds because I took notes, but I'm not gonna. We've been doing this for quite some time. I'm just gonna say, I enjoy how intelligent and competent the villain is. Like I said,
that is a refreshing change of pace.
I also can tell what the creators of the film like, and because I'm also a fan, it makes it so that I enjoy this film. It's not quite Speed, it's not quite Die Hard with a Vengeance, but it does have elements of, just classic things. I mean, lots of them are cliche, like, oh, the hero and the heroine jump out of a helicopter into a conveniently placed rooftop pool.
Or even better, the hero runs at top speed and somehow catches a moving helicopter.
Dude, yeah. I literally put that, once again, John Cena thinks he's Captain America.
And apparently, he's right.
Yes, exactly. But overall, I gave the film a 3 out of 5. I thought it was fine. I wouldn't go so far as to say good, because to be good, I think it would have to be just a little more reality-based. And by that, I mean just make me believe that things are legitimate.
Yeah.
Some of the most reality-based things, if they would have been better set up, like the brother being a firefighter, I would have believed it if you'd have given me more banter, context. Yeah, exactly.
Anything.
Just establish that he even existed before the moment we needed him.
I don't even remember. Did we see him in that year prior before all this happened?
Yeah, no, and that's why I said, if it was just dialogue. Yeah. Well, and another crazy thing is, so me and my brother both moved to New Orleans, Louisiana, but our mom is in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm like, that's kind of weird. Why didn't you bring Mama with you? Why didn't you stay with Mama? Like, come on now.
Yeah, one of you at least.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's surprising. But, like I said, I certainly didn't hate it. There are far more WWE studio films that I think are
much worse.
Much worse. And not honestly,
the sequels to these movies. This movie in particular was much worse.
Well, while you bring that up, in the month of March, we are going to reload 12 rounds with 12 Rounds Reloaded, starring Randy Orton, where this time it's an EMT, not a cop.
Yeah.
Why?
Slightly different.
Because we can.
Sure.
And then, just as a tease, in the month of April, we are going to put the cops on lockdown when we have 12 Rounds Lockdown, starring, John Moxley. I mean, formerly not, but, now
formerly
John
known as
Moxley.
Dean Ambrose.
Yes,
now
exactly.
John Moxley.
But what do you think overall, good sir?
So, like I said, the memorable scenes in this movie are very memorable. I remember the elevator scene. I felt really bad.
Yeah, Willie was a good dude.
Willie was a dope guy. Had a kid, had family. I was like, dang, that sucks.
He actually reminds me of a guy I knew named Willie.
Really?
Like, nationality. Like, his Willie looked Samoan.
Yeah, okay.
I knew a Samoan named Willie.
Yeah.
He was a big guy. He was a nice guy. Good
I'm
dude.
about to say, he seemed like a cool dude. Sucked that it happened.
Yes.
But
I do like that an unnamed cop, because that's what they're good at in this film, did call up John and say, hey, that wasn't your fault. None of this was your fault. It was all manipulated.
Yeah, right.
And everything was already staged against you.
Right, yeah. Like, regardless of if you would have succeeded or not, you would have failed.
Yes, exactly. There was no chance of success.
So I thought that was good. John Cena is definitely a better actor now than he was back then.
Right.
He definitely has had better movies. I will say, though, this is by far not, this is probably one of the better WWE studio films. I'd agree with you at 3 out of 5. Or not a 5, a 3.
Yeah, 3 out of 5, yeah.
3 out of 5.
I was like,
wow, that's a huge jump.
Yes.
Now, bring it back.
Yes.
3 out of 5.
For sure.
So throw up your Cenas for this movie.
I like that.
But yeah, overall,
get that hustle, that loyalty, and that respect.
Yeah. I definitely liked it more as a kid because explosions, John Cena.
Absolutely.
But even now, like, I probably wouldn't go out of my way to watch this movie again. But if it's on, I'm like,
this is probably the last time I'll ever watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't miserable. That's for sure.
I didn't hate the movie. I wasn't bored.
I kind of thought so. When I popped in my DVD, it said, "Do you want theatrical version or unrated extended cut?" And I said, let's take the unrated extended. And it was about the hour and a half point when I was like, I probably should have picked that theatrical cut. I was like, I don't hate this, but like I'm kind of ready to be done.
There's just so much ridiculous things. Like we didn't even talk about it, but like the was it the trolley?
Oh, dude,
where he like pulled up in front.
I'm so glad you brought it up. I'm so glad you brought it because when I was taking notes on this, I said, well, I guess John wants to try out to be Spider-Man as well. So he's not shooting webs, but he's trying to stop this train car like Tobey Maguire stopping that raised rail.
No, he literally did the thing that every Spider-Man movie has done, where he has the Jesus pose.
Exactly.
And I'm like, John, like, what is your strategy here? Like, that car is not stopping. Like, there's nothing that you're doing that would have stopped this. Like, nothing there made sense. So that was one of those things that I completely forgot about, and I'm glad I did. Because I'm like, oh my god, this is so dumb.
Oh, it's so funny.
Like, I get, like, having, like, over-the-top ridiculous scenes in your action movies. Absolutely. That's fine. Like, and honestly, half the time, as long as it looks good, I don't care. But like, that was just so unbelievably unrealistic, and without him having superpowers, I don't know, logically.
So I was talking to Brandon today, right?
Right.
And he was like, I can't wait to do Fast and Furious All or Nothing. and because he
oh my god, please let me be on that so I can just bury Fast and Furious.
Well, so it's not even planned, right? It's not even planned, but he was just saying like in a hypothetical what if scenario, right?
Yeah, because there's like 15 of those movies.
Exactly. Well, I said to him,
and that's if you don't count the spin-offs.
I said to him, I'm not against the beginning. Yeah. I thought the first one was exceptionally okay.
First one was a good movie,
and the second one, whatever, less than the first, but I don't hate it. It was a movie, exactly. I said to him, I was like, it's not until The Rock arrives when I started turning against these things.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because they turned into superhero films without superpowers, any reason or motive or logic, and you get this big secret society government questionable stuff. Hydra. Yeah. And I was like, it was that change. Like, I was fine, because he thought I wouldn't be for Fast and Furious. He was like, oh, you don't care about vehicles. I was like, nah, but, the race stuff is fine to watch.
I'm not a big car guy by any means, which is ironic, because I work at BMW right now.
For sure.
But, like, still, like, even so, like, I can appreciate a good-looking car.
Well, especially a nice-looking race in a film.
Exactly.
Like, I don't have to know anything about cars to be like, hey, that was a good-looking race.
Like, hey, that was a great race right there.
Well, especially when all the folks waving the flags are like, all right.
Like, all right, let's do it. Yes.
I was like, I don't care about the cars. I'm just looking at the scenery.
Yeah. Like, for me, with Fast and Furious, like, the only films that were good were the first film. Mm-hmm. The second film was fine.
Yeah.
Tokyo Drift was cool.
And the thing is, Bow Wow, man, he felt like he could be just a friend.
Exactly.
Which is amazing because, what's his name, Lucas Black?
Yeah.
He had to have been 30 playing.
Big time.
17?
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on now.
At least. And then the other one that sticks out to me, I wouldn't say this film was good in particular, but I think it ended really well, was, what was it, the 6th or 7th one, the one where Paul Walker died? Like, while they were filming it.
Oh, I hated that one.
Yeah.
I hated that one.
I like to see you again, like, that scene.
Oh, I hated really that. I wanted him to die when they were doing the cliff scene. Only reason being, no knock on Paul Walker, the human, but, like, because the character will never return.
Literally, ever.
And you had that perfect scene where the tour bus, if you will, it's not a tour bus, but the high-tech bus was over the edge. And I'm like, oh, you don't even have to show the death. Just, it falls, he falls. We're all sad, because everybody in reality is sad anyway. So just let it be. Because now it's awkward whenever we're like, oh yeah, he's babysitting. Yeah. And I'm like, come on, he ain't babysitting. We know.
He's dead as done.
We know what's up.
I think if the franchise had stopped, then it would have been fine.
Sure.
I was perfectly fine with
that. If that was the end, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But because it kept going and going and going, that's the problem. I don't know how we got here. But the fact is that I don't know if we'll ever do Fast and Furious All or Nothing. But
maybe if we're bored.
I was just saying that it was fun hanging out with Brandon today, basically. I guess what I was getting at was, so one of my primary complaints about 12 rounds was the unrealistic nature of many things.
Exactly.
And whenever it's based in reality, it was good. When it left reality, it took me out. Same with Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a pleasure having you. Thanks for coming. I promise we are actually going to slam the WWE Studios films, because so far we've been rather generous with the first two.
I feel like they had a decent start. Like, they were never going to be, like, I don't think anyone ever went into these films expecting them to be, like, blockbuster hits.
Mm-hmm.
Well, aside from Vince. But
oh, sure.
We
make movies, pal.
Yeah, we make movies, damn it. But outside of that, like, like, I never went in these movies like, man, this is going to be, like, Oscar-winning classics.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
going to be the greatest thing I've ever seen. But, like, I expected to go in and at least be like, okay, this is going to be a fun little movie. I'm going to have a good time. It might have a solid story. It might not, but at least I'll get some good action out of it.
Exactly.
Which is what the first two movies we reviewed delivered.
Oh, absolutely. They're big on the action.
Exactly.
And Scorpion King was big on the visuals.
Yeah, a lot of interesting CGI in that one.
Oh, I wasn't talking about the CGI. I was talking about Kelly Hu. Yeah, exactly. That specifically.
The other visuals.
The other visuals, yes. But yeah, thanks for coming. Thank you for watching. Tune in Wednesday for the Wednesday
Don't forget to chill.
Yes, thank you. I almost forgot to chill. So, while you're here, thank you for being here.
Yep.
This channel exists solely for the purpose of selling graphic novels. It might seem like we're here for movies. No, we're here for Everlasting Survivors, Volume 1, all day long. There are limited first printings of the Only Ever 100 Jeff Hicks cover printed, link in the description. And there are limited first printings of the Only Ever 50 printed Nick Crook cover. Like I said before the shilling, come back Wednesday for the Wednesday Rewind. See you this Friday when we pop in to the AEW, well, our AEW universe, Alpha Entertainment Worldwide, where Josiah's booking Raw, I'm booking SmackDown, and we're taking things in a whole different direction.
Very different direction.
Bye.